See how they go.
All right, well, game one will begin. A match between two of the latter gods, as Neirea and Kolento have been jockeying for position all year and ended up 1 and 2. They're both from Ukraine, so fun fact is they're 1 and 2 and they're local countrymen together. Now it will be Priest versus the Druid, and just like you mentioned, Druid definitely having the edge here over the Priest. It is the Control Priest though, and with Control Priest versus a Ramp Druid, there is a possibility of having Thought Steals get very strong draws considering how dense this deck can be.
Absolutely. So it looks like a pretty strong hand from Kolento. I think Injured Blade Master is one of your better cards against Druid. He really wants a circle of healing. Like I might just mull the Shadow Word Shield and get really greedy and just look for the circle. They can only. You don't just want to run out a Blade Master most of the time on turn 2 because of the vulnerability to Wrath. But on the other hand, there's a chance the Druid just doesn't have Wrath, and Injured Blade Master can definitely let you just snowball the game, so I see the merit in keeping Shield, I guess. You can, if the first one lives, you can Shield heal, and then if it dies, you play the second Blade Master, so... Yeah, I think I like both players' mulligan decisions here.
Yeah, Innervate, of course, the natural keep for any Druid player. And the
Did
Thanos is pretty much cyclical. The earlier you get the Thanos out, the less of a liability it is to Cabal Shadow Priest, which is one of the few targets along with the Keeper of the Grove.
did Neirea keep the Blood Mage in his opening hand?
I want to say yes, but
So
I don't
the
think
thinking
so.
behind doing that is he wants to play it early before Kolento has Cabal Shadow Priest mana, but in keeping it, he's decreased the odds that he has an opening hand Wild Growth. It's a pretty cool play here. We get to deal with the Blood Mage, still develop a 3 health minion, just like playing Blade Master would have. I like it.
Also test for Wrath to get it out of the way for the injured Blade Master that can come down. And look at that. Wrath is what Neirea drew off the Thanos. Paved the way for this injured Blade Master to fight for the board.
Absolutely. So let's see if oh wow, that Northshire draw. Let's see if this Blade Master can end up running away with the game, or if Neirea ends up drawing an answer. He's just gonna throw down Sunwalker. Okay. I mean, the thing is, a heal on that Blade Master is gonna stop it from dying to Sunwalker and make Neirea want a hero power, but then he can't play one of the 5 drops that he needs to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What do you think about Silence? Do you save that later for like Sylvanas or an Ancient Award, or do you just play it now to get some damage on the face? Damage on face probably doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think you're racing or trying to pressure to the point of killing your opponent. You're the control priest, if not the tempo priest. So
He's probably worried about swipe. That's why he doesn't want a Northshire heal. But I would still do it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. The Divine Shield is way too powerful, though. I think.
Yeah, 4 free damage on your creature. Gotta silence
Yeah,
it, I guess.
but the Divine Shield is the least of his problems. It's the forward attack and the continuation of more forward attack creatures. Gosh.
Well, let's see if... Oh, he did end up drawing swipe. That's pretty good for Neirea, honestly. I think you just swipe here. Because you're going to leave yourself with a 4-1 Sunwalker. I mean, Priest doesn't really have a good answer to that. I mean, it doesn't use your mana very well, so it's like tempting to just play a 5-drop. And maybe he wants to play Druid of the Claw and Lotheb.
No, I think you're right though. Like the swipe, like the most important thing is killing off this card draw so he can't get the insane circle healing combos of
Yeah.
injured Blade Master. So denying it is really important. And then if he spends his turn like Holy Nova, then that gives you complete initiative to drop something on turn 6,
Yeah.
which you
I
have a
mean, like,
couple of good options.
knowing Kalento's hand, this was the best play. But you can make an argument there for like attacking Northshire Cleric and playing like a Druid of the Claw just to be more mana efficient. But yeah, I like the swipe more. So just gonna drop Blade Master and heal it. Oh, that Yeti's such a good draw because it lets him develop the board while dealing with this Blade Master. He really needed to use 2 mana to hero power there, but if he did that without drawing the Yeti, his turn was gonna be very awkward.
Wow, sick. And it's still another 4/5. And the Holy Fire target, there's better targets that you want to use it on, in the sense that you just gave up 2 mana to do this, and now your opponent gets the free board here.
Yep, so Neirea's gonna get it develop on the board first. I think I would Core Hound, knowing that he's already played
Holy Fire.
the one Holy Fire, the only Holy Fire in the deck, because they know lists. Like, either way, it dies to Shadow or Death, but I guess the damage doesn't matter much. Like, the getting the 5 extra on his face doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, and you win cool style points for going 10/5.
Yeah.
He had a
All
big
right.
opportunity to gain a lot of Twitter followers, but he just failed that.
I know. It's okay, mistakes were made. Just gonna drop BGH here as a dude. I like that play.
And it's also a 4-attack creature. It's very problematic. You have to use 6 mana Holy Smite to deal with that. It seems like Sylvanas is the best course of action. Force your opponent to trade into it.
Now, Sylvanas is definitely perfect here. Just when you're behind on board, it's got to be the play you go with. I mean, nothing else here makes sense, I don't think. I mean, you could spend 6 mana Holy Smiting something, maybe Sylvanas later, but you just take so much damage like that. I think you just want to slow the game down to your mind control turn, if you can. The cool thing about running Cenarius as a finisher is that, like I said, it's one of the only finishers in the game that's resilient to cards like Faceless Manipulator, Big Game Hunter, Black Knight, and yeah, also Mind Control. You know, if you're going to get a 9-drop Mind Control, then Cenarius is pretty much the best you can hope for in that regard. I think you... Yeah, that's the dream for Sylvanas. 5/5 taunt, immune to hero power. The other option there was to go face and just try to ignore it. He did have 1/2 of the Force of Nature combo, so that was definitely an option. You'd have Kolento at like 20 and yeah, potentially threatening lethal.
But then you give your a piece of your combo away, and you're also not developing something on the board. You're just having the Ents, the Treants.
No, I meant just go face and like ignore the Sylvanas.
Oh, I thought you said you would go play Force of Nature and go for the trade. Yeah, that sounds reasonable too.
There's no answer for
Kolento
this.
just.
I mean, yeah, just developing a couple guys is probably the best play. He could have spent a bunch of mana killing a 5/5 with Holy Novas and Pyromancer and stuff, but that was definitely not going to work out that well. So I like his play here. Just develop the board further. Neirea's deck is just so aggressive for a ramp deck. Like, all it does is play dudes and big game hunters. Very strong against Priest.
Was like Sylvanas Thought Stolen? Because he played BGH, and BGH is definitely a Thought Stolen card. And I was looking at Kolento's hand, I didn't see anything else, so it makes me believe that that was the card that was also taken.
It might have been, yeah. Don't quite remember. But he's going to protect his Ancient Allure, force Kolento to, you know, have another Shadow or Death for this. You might as well Mind Control. I don't think you're going to get a better target. Kolento knows the list. And Kolento knows that Neirea knows Kolento's list, which means Neirea doesn't really want to just make himself vulnerable to Mind Control. More or less, so, yeah.
Well, Kolento takes a second to alt-tab and look at it. I think it's true. Like, if you know your opponent can't deal with this creature, then you have no incentive to play anything bigger. If anything, you'll play something around the same power level or something weaker. And you're still putting a decent clock on your opponent. So Kolento under pressure, he's going to go for this Mind Control.
Yeah, I think it's the right play.
Yeah. And that's going to prompt Neirea to be able to play whatever he wants, no? Although, conveniently, it was the biggest creature in his hand.
Yep, can't silence mind control, so this is pretty good for Kolento, honestly. I guess you just drew to the bear, go face. Or drew to the tiger, the other one. Oh, he wants
Cat.
the bear. Okay. Yeah. So, it's gonna make Holy Nova pretty strong. I think you just attack Sludge Belcher, Pyromancer, Holy Nova, and then Holy Smite. And then you heal your Pyro in between there.
Yeah, you can clear that way. I did the math there, but it took me a little bit of time. Yeah, you can go for the trade, and as the priest, you want to deny the board, which is important.
But he's
Like
gonna
that
leave
way, Dark
Pyromancer at
Cult.
1 health. I wonder if
And
he's
then,
considering like Circle, Pyro somehow. Probably not.
Circle doesn't really accomplish much here.
Yeah, I think there's only one play here. I mean, Circle tops off your lore, if it matters. Ah, yeah, this plays better because lets you. Yeah, this lets you
get
heal.
the final say of healing.
He could have
Well,
had
still
two minions at
vulnerable
2 health.
I think you want to play with your Ancient of Lore keeping as healthy as possible, though.
It plays around Keeper. But you don't know if your opponent has Keeper. You know he has hero power.
All right, well, Neirea has the opportunity to Wrath and continue to draw.
I think I like that.
Yeah, he's starting to hit some really powerful minions too. Like he still has Ancient Lore number 2, Neirea's Ancient of Wars, Sludge Belchers. Ah, go for the full board clear then.
Definitely. He's not Keepering, which is weird to me. Okay, so that's a little mistake there. He should have taken less damage by Keepering the big guy and then hero powering the Pyro.
Yeah,
But yeah, it happens.
yeah.
He
As long as
noticed
he
it,
gets
and
the
that's the
general,
important thing.
yeah, as long as you get the general macro decision down, the 1 or 2 damage sometimes doesn't end up playing a big factor. It is priest after all. Are we expecting like your opponent to thought steal Force of Nature Savage Roar? I don't think so.
So, Kolento desperately wanted a Cabal Shadow Priest here. Didn't have it. Had to run out the one earlier just as a Kill and Yeti. You will be able to Shadow Madness here, but I don't think it's going to accomplish much. Unless he has something to go with it.
Doesn't look like it, because you can't even bust through the first wall here. Well, I guess you could if you used Holy Nova.
Yeah, you gotta Shadow Madness Holy Nova, and then the board is clear.
Yeah, the board's clear.
I don't think there's another play though. Gotta go with that. Just the brutal part here for Kolento is that he's already drawn his Mind Control, he's already drawn his Sylvanas. He has 1 Cabal Shadow Priest left. That Sludge Belcher is literally the biggest threat in his deck.
Does he? Oh, that's right. He has to thought steal something nice then too. Otherwise, he's just going to be drawing second circle of healing and have no application. Neirea also is drawing blanks too. He's only got
Yeah.
Black Knight as a minion.
I mean, Neirea's gone through most of his threats too. How many cards does he have left in his deck? We've seen how many Ancient Allures? Just the one?
Just one. He's got
There's an
another
Ancient
Ancient
Allure?
of Lore. He's got Cenarius. And he's got 1 more Sludge Belcher.
Sounds like Neirea's draws are a lot better than Kolento's. That Akanai, actually a good draw. That's one of his biggest creatures. And Neirea is low, so Kolento needs Neirea to brick here.
Ugh. Forgot about Black Knight being his opportunity to swing the board. Well, that's a great way to do 5 damage. Kolento still can pick up Thought Steal, though. I think one of his worst draws would be Cleric.
Oh no, he did
That's
have
right. Sylvanas
Sylvanas.
was thought stolen. There you go.
Ah, okay. That's much better for him. Do you kill the Black Knight here with Akanai? It won't necessarily die to hero power, but it does make you vulnerable to swipe.
If you don't, will you lose something like Sylvanas? I know you saw 2 keepers already, right?
There's
Yeah,
actually no
I think
reason
you
to
do.
kill it. There's no reason to... Oh, he's just going to hold the Sylvanas. If he's going to hold the Sylvanas, I like this play. Yeah, because you want your opponent to play something big first. He hasn't seen 2 swipes yet. That makes a lot of sense.
Wow, Cenarius and Ancient of Lore.
Those are some good back-to-back draws for sure. He's going to opt to Cenarius rather than lower hero power. He is pretty low. I think I like that play. Can't hero power twice, unfortunately.
No, unless you have Shadow Form. So, gonna have to just play as if he's crashed into his 2/2s and contest the Cenarius. Now, Neirea
Yep.
still has ways to draw with Ancient of Lore and see what he can get, but it's starting to get to the fatigue battles where they're in the last third of their deck.
Absolutely. Sludge Belcher, strong draw. It's going to protect Cenarius from Sylvanas for at least one turn.
So he thinks. Wait, so Sludge Belcher was played second, correct?
Let none survive.
So if you attack... Oh, I guess you're just going to steal it. That's fine. But there's a way to guarantee that you would steal Cairn. I don't know that you'd care whatsoever, because you kept
Yes.
Sylvanas alive.
You're absolutely right. Sludge Belcher was played second, so if they were to die simultaneously, the Cenarius would be stolen. So what he should have done, I think, is Akanai shoot his own Sylvanas and then attack. But this play is nice too. I mean, is Kolento dead to force combo? No. 12 plus 7. He's 1 short.
Well, he's not healing. So, in fact, yes, he is. If that's the case. But his opponent did use Force of Nature, believe it, right? Earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Should be
So,
okay.
yeah.
He's out of range. Oh, second keeper. There you go. But second keeper uses up so much of your other remaining mana.
What to do?
What do you do here?
Holding
man?
off on that Sylvanas. I mean, this was so well played by Kolento, where he held off on Sylvanas for that 1 turn. I feel like that's the reason he's
Must safeguard them.
actually in a good spot here now. I like this use of Savage Roar too. That's a very good play. So yeah, kill off Sludge, kill off Akanai, I think.
For the wild.
Hope to just out-card Kolento. I mean, Neirea knows that his Druid deck is more threat dense than Kolento's Priest deck, so all he needs to do is extend this game.
For no one.
He was the aggressor, but I mean now Kolento is, so gotta play
Kolento's
defensive.
Can he find any way to kill his opponent? I mean, he has 9 damage right here.
Shadow or Death is a great draw. Why isn't he playing it? I don't understand.
Saving it for a second Ancient of War? Because he can't deal with that Ancient of War otherwise?
He could deal it with the Sylvanas that's in play, and also deal 5 this turn.
Well, he's
Know what I
opting
mean?
to save it, and this Ancient of Lore will draw the 2 out of the 3 remaining cards for Neirea.
It'll just heal. There's no way he'll draw here. Goes phase. I disagree with Kolento's play there. I think that's like 5 damage he missed. Might end up being a really big deal. Unless he's trying to win with fatigue, in which case this is a fine strategy, but I just don't think that's gonna work.
Someone injured?
I wonder how many cards Kolento has left. Like, it's very irrelevant at this point. He's still not deathing.
Kolento has 4 left, and then Neirea has 3 remaining, so Neirea is slightly ahead. He
wonder
still
what
has
he's
yet to
thinking.
draw his second Ancient of War.
Yeah, he's thinking
Oh.
about the second Ancient War, I guess, because he can't. Okay, I understand. He can't beat the second Ancient War. That's the thinking. It's lucky for him that Neirea drew Innervate out of his 3 cards. That was like the one blank.
Gives him
So
the small window of opportunity. Oh, this one's coming down to the wire. Do
That's
you
a
want that
crazy
extra
game.
card?
It's a good
Kill off the
question.
Yeti and heal.
Yeah, knowing the deck list, Kolento recognized that like he couldn't actually beat the second Ancient War, so he needs to save the death. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. I would have gone with just like the attack face 3 turns in a row plan, but I don't think it would have been enough.
If
He has
if
3.
he draws a card, he'll be even in terms of fatigue, so he's not going to be rushing closer to death. I think
I mean,
you
could he even
want to
play the
take
card
it.
he drew?
That's true. Wow. All right, so another way to build up board, and Northshire Clerics kind of served their purpose already, anyways. So you trade her in.
Guess you saved the circle.
If you count 2 wraths used, should be fine.
His
First
cultist
game's
is a
already
solid
kind of
draw.
crazy.
I can't believe he
Oh,
got
that's
combos.
right. He thought still Sylvanas. Sylvanas is still a live draw here, considering that Kolento stole it. Wait, does that mean Kolento's like last card will be Thoughtsteal, and he Thoughtsteals 2 Ancient of Wars?
No, you only steal 1 card if you thought steal with 1 left in the deck. It comes up too often. But yeah, Kolento will get a. He has a thought steal left, right? Just the 1.
I believe
That's
so.
why he was so upset. I understand now. He looked like upset when he drew the Dark Cultist, and I'm like, why? It's a good play, but he was looking for a thought steal that turn. He should have circled a healing to draw the thought steal. He doesn't look happy. He must not have drawn thought steal.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's too bad. Thoughtsteal is the very last card for Kolento. And you're right, he should have used Circle of Healing in order to climb back, but I don't...
He wouldn't have hit it anyway, though.
Oh.
But yeah,
You sure?
yeah, because
The
he would have
Circle
drawn
of
this,
Healing might
this
have
circle.
drawn...
He would have drawn this circle right here.
No, then he would have drawn the Thoughtsteal right now. He would have at least gotten Ancient of War.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah. Do you circle now?
Well,
You do,
I mean,
right?
there's
no reason
nothing
not
else
to.
for you to do.
I was gonna suicide all of his stuff. Oh, that hurts.
Wow. And then he's gonna try to win the fatigue. But I don't think he can.
I'm out of cards.
This is crazy. The Thoughtsteal is gonna just take nothing. Kolento has, if he just
really
had one
unlucky.
Northshire Cleric. If he just had one Northshire
You won.
Cleric, I think he'd win.
Holy crap, he won the game. That's insane.
Wild.
He played this like the only way. Yeah, this is really impressive from Kolento, honestly. The way he played this game. Just like not deathing that turn.
Wow.
I wonder if he's been keeping
Controllable.
track of every card that Neirea's played. And knows that Innervate's the last card.
Oh.
Well played.
Neirea is really happy. He has a goofy look, but the fatigue race does favor Kolento, because Neirea hits it a little bit earlier. But with the 1 damage
Yeah.
being dealt, I don't know.
Well, the game's
just-
over because their hero powers are a wash. Like the Kolento heals 2, Neirea effectively deals 1, heals 1. That's the same. So I think Neirea just loses because he fatigues a turn earlier.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
For the wild.
Because the hero powers like are a wash.
Are you sure, though, Kolento? Are you sure, though? Because Kolento was the one, like, the armor's actually into account here.
What was Kolento
Kolento's the
first
one
to
taking
fatigue?
damage first.
Oh, Kolento took damage first. I thought Neirea did.
Yeah. No,
Oh, in that
Neirea did, but Neirea was on higher health. Oh, you might be right, though. I don't know. This is
We'll
not
find
good
out, I
math.
guess.
This is insane. I can't believe it's actually gotten to this point.
Yeah, very evenly matched players. This is gonna be an awesome match.
It already is.
For the wild.
I haven't had breakfast yet.
Narea's gonna
Frodo.
have at least 2 more turns, but so will Kolento. I think these players are just waiting it out to see what's gonna actually happen. You know, in the previous Prismata Cup right now, there was a match with Ties and Gar that was similar to this, and it got absolutely down to the wire. But it looks like Kolento will barely survive. Wait, but then the 1 damage from Neirea is live. Right? So then if he can deal the last point of damage? No, because he's only gonna take 6.
Well played. For the wild.
So he's actually
Yeah.
gonna win by 1 damage? What is this? No way! I can't believe it! Oh my
Not
god!
even
This
close.
is
Hey,
bananas!
Do you remember when Neirea took some extra damage this game by hero
Yeah, he
power
took
the wrong
2.
creature? I don't think it mattered though.
What?
It was only two damage extra. Wow. Well, that was a good game. That's insane. I think like there might be 2 players in the
Oh
world that
my
would have won
God.
that game with Kolento's like draw. If he played that end. Let's see mulligans here. Yeah, seems right.
Yeah, as the priest, well, actually, this is the first time we've seen Neirea's priest because we only saw Handlock and Druid previously. So with Ysera, this still is still not truly indicative of what kind of priest this is. It could be either.
That's true. Let me take a look actually. We have their list pulled up.
Yeah, it could be Ysera with a control priest. Most likely not, and most likely seems to be the tempo priest that has late game scaling, so that way it can make up for its card deficit.
Yeah, it's a control
it could-
priest.
Could lean either way.
It's actually, I think, the same exact list as Kolento, except for the Ysera. That one Ysera is a...
Holy Smite.
Reporting for
That's
duty.
what I'm
Yes.
eyeballing. If I had to guess. I'm not exactly sure on it.
That sounds right. Oh, there's an
Well,
extra
that's
Holy Nova.
quite the replacement.
There is an extra Holy Nova. I think Kolento only plays 1.
Reporting for duty.
Well,
All right, now Kolento is off to a pretty slow start, but the Paladin always is. And when you see a priest with a slow start too, you start to begin suspecting control. I thought that Neirea would like playing control priest because I know innovation players have been experimenting with control priest, so it seemed to be along their MO.
yeah, Neirea decided not to coin the Dark Cultist, which let it die on curve to True Silver. Which might have been right. I don't know. Well, it depends on how much use he gets out of that coin. Opting to be really conservative with it, though. Coining the Cultist would have let him kill off a token earlier, which would have saved him a decent amount of life, but not too much. The coin is probably more valuable.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think the coin is really important on these control matchups. Let
Look
you
at
get
how-
the extra swing. Not to mention that it's also important. Sorry about that. It's not to mention it's also important for the Pyromancer to get some synergies with an extra sweep.
Yeah. So Colento's opting to play Senjin here instead of another Sludge Belcher so that he can hero power, just maximize value out of that. Yeah, Paladin is just so good at dealing with Sludge Belcher if you have a True Silver. It's impressive. Not many classes can do much about that card. Neirea's going to keep being patient with the Akanai Circle Clear. I like this decision, for sure. Force Kolento to commit maybe an Elder Peacekeeper, something to the 4/7 first, then clear off the board.
Yeah, otherwise you're giving 2 for 2 at the moment, card-wise. You can get a little bit better.
He could True Silver into it. He wouldn't want to play Shade afterwards because that would make it vulnerable to Holy Nova. It'd make his whole board vulnerable to Holy Nova. Yeah, Hero Power True Silver seems like the best play. I wonder if you even... Yeah, I guess you kill it with Senjin. Go face it the other ones.
Yeah, don't give up the first body of the sludge unnecessarily. But then the
just
first body
wondering,
of
like-
sludge becomes vulnerable to Shadow Madness.
Yeah, like maybe going face was a better play here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna trade. Huh. That's a tough call. I mean, if he does Shadow Madness, the sludge, it's still not gonna trade off. You need more damage to be on the sludge for that
Yeah,
to
true.
happen.
Yeah, that's actually perfectly true. And Neirea just go to Holy Nova, shut down a lot of the hero powers,
Yep.
and go back down. This matchup very well might go to fatigue also.
He's being very patient with his cards. He could coin a Ysera next turn, but not anymore. He wants to mind control for sure. No reason to. Well, yeah, yeah, you should attack because Shadow or Death could happen.
Yeah, don't lose that charge of true silver unnecessarily.
I mean, he knows Neirea still has coin, so
For justice.
maybe he wants to save the charge, assuming Tyrion's going to get mind controlled, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, but you can't mind control. It has to be 50-50 at best. Coin, Sylvanas, Shadow or Death.
Well, he just waited a turn.
Fair enough. This is assuming Kolento doesn't have a silence of some sort.
He does play 2 in his deck, but he doesn't have one. Here about like 15 cards deep. It's unfortunate for Kolento, but he can just make some 1/1s, hope for some good RNG on the Sylvanas. Not a terrible
Well,
strategy, I don't think.
The difference between a Tyrion and a 1/1 token
Well,
is just game swinging, massive momentum
Hearthstone.
building. So.
What he could, okay, this is a little cheeky play, but what he could do is attack face with Tyrion and then humility his own Tyrion and play like a Sludge Belcher.
Let me think.
He might do that because humility, I believe, can target anything. Peacekeeper can only target enemy minions. So that would make it impossible for Neirea to suicide his Sylvanas, and then you could maybe get 2 turns of Tyrion getting in there. That's a really cheeky play, though. I don't know if it's...
Yeah.
Test me, child.
Oh
just gonna
wow,
hope for
he's
good
going for
RNG.
the immediate cash. And it takes the Pyromancer, which is a pretty good even exchange that way to avoid his Tyrion.
Yep, great RNG for Kolento there. So
Wow.
this turn is going to be spent coin mind controlling. Like 100%. There's no way there's any other play here.
Yeah. Not to mention that you've already tested for silence on your Sylvanas. So the taking the Tyrion seems appropriate. Is there an alternative play though? Seems like he's taking his time just in case.
Yep. It's time for Neirea to put his faith in the light. And we'll see if Ashbringer can put in some work. Like Kolento loses so much value from this, and Neirea still has the Akanai Circle follow-up. I feel like Control Priest should be heavily favored in this matchup. Because of the Thought Steals mostly. We'll see if that ends up being true.
Let's see, there's Sylvanas number 2.
Kolento really wishes he could kill that on board and just get the Kel'Thuzad value. But it's just not an option. Like, there's no way to get through that this turn. So, I'm not sure what you do then. Do you have to just play Sylvanas hero power? Maybe you play Kel'Thuzad anyway.
Yeah, what's wrong with playing Kel'Thuzad, getting another Sludge Belcher and a couple of other stuff on board while doing damage? Seems to be pretty reasonable.
It makes you kind of vulnerable to Akanai Circle, but I guess you have 2 Belchers then, and I suppose. I don't know. I've never played a Kel'Thuzad without like. Yeah, I guess you're getting some immediate value.
Right, without like checkmate value, right? Like of like super powerful. Like
Yeah.
this, like if you don't kill Kel'Thuzad, you have to have like an amazing board sweep. I know those things. But yeah,
Maybe he
some
just
players just want to get a little bit of value. I've seen like RDU play it with like a minion and a half, like a token, and just trade it in, and then it's like a 6/8 that has to be dealt with. It's got like super taunt.
It just depends on your hand, though. Like, sometimes you have a clunky hand and you have to do that, but in this case, Kolento has another good play in Sylvanas, so maybe he gets 2 Sylvanases. Who knows?
Oh my. How about that? Holy Nova and Equality.
Don't test me, child.
I would say that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got to be the play. He's gonna opt for the Akanai circle clear instead, but that gives him an Akanai. Why is this better?
No, this doesn't die.
Why is
Or
this?
is he?
I don't know if I like that more. Even like the fact that Neirea doesn't know what he's doing after this means that it wasn't as well thought out as it could have been, I think. There's no Harrison in Kolento's deck, so there's no reason to attack here. Neirea can just wait on those charges and decide as the game progresses whether he wants to attack creatures or
Oh
go fix.
man. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, Kel'Thuzad value. Now it's
You
not
got
about
really
the
punished for
fact
that
that you're
play.
stealing it, but it's the fact that he's bringing back Sylvanas, and you have to target Kel'Thuzad as a priority.
Yeah, equality there was, I think, a better play, right? You just don't.
The problem with equality is that you give him Tyrion, though, right? Because actually Tyrion
No,
doesn't die.
you equality and then you trade in Tyrion and then you.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it makes sense then.
I mean, this kind of did the same thing a turn later, but. I guess equality is less predictable, so by waiting, Kolento has less information about what Neirea thought stole.
Yeah, I was just trying to tap into maybe why Neirea didn't do that play, but you shot down that theory almost immediately. Ysera insta-called here for Neirea. Maybe you can pick up a big game-changing card.
Yep, definitely a great play here. No reason to play Northshire, I don't think. Neirea's checking deck size right now just to see whether he wants to even draw cards, because he recognizes that it might come down to fatigue. But he's going to decide to just not let Northshire die for free to that Eldar Peacekeeper. He can do better than gaining 3 life off that Northshire. Kolento doesn't have the equality, and Ysera is ready to top deck and wreck. So I don't know what he's going to do about this. You can either play Shade or you can play Humility.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, Kolento just used his humility combo too. This is tough. Well, at least this Ysera is just a 1/9 totem wrecking ball. Or not totem, but token wrecking ball. And you can definitely start drawing some cards as well.
Is someone injured?
Impacting it. Uses Ashbringer to clear the board.
Ball's not terrible. I think you have to kind of Holy Fire here, don't you?
By the light.
I guess you don't have to, but Holy Fire is pretty strong.
Is there trouble?
Well, you've already dealt with Tyrion, and there's not a lot of other late game cards, right, from Kolento?
Like this line of play
So-
lets him keep the 5/6 alive, and then you're just taking more damage. I don't know about that. It could be worse, I guess.
6, 10 damage at the moment.
Well, he could run the 1/1 into Laughing Sister, consecrate twice, and pray. But I do like Shade of Naxxramas twice here. Definitely seems better. Hope he doesn't have Holy Nova, and yeah. Kolento has a real chance of winning this. Holy Fire plus heal is going to get him to 16. 10. Kolento's short quite a bit of damage, actually. Assuming Neirea plays Holy Fire this turn.
Yeah, but he's got ways to sweep now. He's got Silence and the Nightmare. That easily can kill off
Yeah, it should be
everything
game.
else. Yeah, think so. And I don't foresee a way for Kolento to dig himself out of this one, as much as he did his best Houdini impression the previous game.
He's
Looks
looking
like
to
his-
save his Holy Fire here.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, because you have to play it anyway, right?
I suppose so. The Silence is not a great
So he
target
missed
at
one
that.
point of damage there. Not a huge deal though. Again, could have Holy Fired the creature and then attacked face for 6. So do we double consecrate here?
You double consecrate just to kill off the laughing sister. That's about it.
You could silence the Ysera. You start taking 4, but he stops getting dream cards.
Yeah, I think you need to stop the dream cards as soon as possible, because more things like Laughing Sister might come out. Emerald Drakes, more Laughing Sisters. I mean, this Northshire Cleric's gonna die next turn anyways. Okay, well, Kolento concedes because he doesn't feel like there's a point for him to win, and Neirea evens up the series off of a pretty well-played control priest. Now we'll go to an even better go into the board and see how Kolento responds here. Now, keep in mind, every single deck is live, but neither player have touched their hand locks. And once again, priest versus the druid. Now, the priest deck seems like it struggles a little bit.
Wow.
But Kolento got really good thought steals, and he's like, do I want to keep this now for later?
He kept BGH. That's crazy, because he knows Kolento doesn't play Chow, and he wants to use it to trade for Dark Cultist. I don't think many people would do that. I'm not even sure it's right, even. Because, I feel like you just want to maximize your odds of drawing Wild Growth. So I wouldn't have kept it. Oh, outplayed.
Maximized. Odds maximized. There you go.
Now BGH is not going to look nearly as good, though. It's just kind of sit in hand. You definitely coin Cultist here. Cultist into Cultist.
Yeah, he's alt-tabbed. He's not looking at Holy Nova right now.
Yeah.
Just looking over deck lists. Making sure to play with this information. So, you like playing the Cultist over the Injured Blade, even though there is the heal potential on the Injured Blade Master?
Yeah, because you have 2 3-drops. You're not going to spend your next turn healing Blade Master, I don't think. Oh, he disagrees. I mean, this also exposes you to Wrath. There's a lot of reasons I like Cultist more, but this isn't necessarily a bad play. Like, Neirea doesn't have the Wrath here. And, yeah, could just work out very well for him.
Wow, second Wild Growth.
Yeah, maybe you just play Sunwalker. I guess it doesn't do much that Yeti doesn't, but...
So, do you... Okay, well... Sunwalker. I was wondering if there was any room to use Wild Growth and then curve out for Sunwalker next turn, but... I guess the Sunwalker here takes a priority. At least it doesn't let your minion just die immediately.
Right away.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. Like, Innervate Wild Growth was not a bad play. It's going to be a little bit tough for him to find a time to play these Dark Cultists now, but I get Kolento's thinking, right? He played the Blade Master because he's trying to maximize value, draw that card, because, you know, last game it came down to fatigue. It came down to using every single card in the deck. And if this game plays out in a similar way, then... Oh, no. Oh, that Sunwalker is way too good here. You have to just play Akanai, I think. Unless he's hoping to draw Circle.
Well, he's got Holy Nova next turn, and barring any
just...
weird Earthenry farce here, he just waits for it.
Yeah, I could just play nothing, I guess. That might be best. If you're playing for value, that's correct, but the thing is, Neirea's gonna... Like, if you don't play anything, Neirea's gonna play a 5-drop. Because his deck has so many of them. Right. And then at that point, your Holy Nova is not clearing the board, and it's just not a good time. Big Game Hunter being merciless in this Priest Paladin format. Or the decks people are playing just are either weak to Big Game Hunter, or they don't have good removal for Big Game Hunter.
Everyone's removing Rag from their deck lists, it seems. The only one runs Ragnaros seems to be Warrior, and we haven't seen a Warrior in quite some time.
Jungle Panther OP. It's been attacking like 3 turns in a row in every matchup.
For the wild.
That's right. It's a jungle panther without the ability to stealth. All right. Well, Kolento still kind of just dangling here, trying to stabilize the board. The flurry of 4 attack creatures have been unending.
The damned stand ready.
He
Yep.
played double Dark Cultist, which is the dream, to at least get both of them to activate. But Neirea has silence. He's got double silence. Oh, man.
I think you play it too. Yeah, you have to. Oh, well, it doesn't matter which order you do it in. Silence before or after doesn't matter.
Yeah, kind of inconsequential.
I think you hold on to the other one though. Just hero power.
Yeah, you know your opponent plays Sylvanas. Ysera
Oh.
as well.
I really like that going face play. If I was on ladder, I would never make that attack, but since he knows Kolento's entire deck list, knows there's no Black Knight, knows there's just no way to get punished for this, he decides to take the 4 points of damage for free. You definitely Cabal.
Yeah, the value on taking the 2/4 is great considering that's the only target other than potentially Thanos, but I don't believe Neirea has... Oh, he does have Thanos. Yeah, he led off the game, turn 2 Thanos. All right, Neirea gets his Sludge Belcher, so he's got cards that can continue to match his board here. And now he can pick favorable trades.
For the wild.
Yep. You kill off the cultist, play a Sludge Belcher.
I don't really
Considering-
see any other alternative play. Wild Growth still can't cycle a card. It's 1 turn off from doing it.
Yeah, maybe he's considering innervating a keeper. I think you save it for Sylvanas though. Speaking of which, Sylvanas has been kind of just MVP in all these matchups today. People are playing very similar mid-rangey decks, and it just seems like cards like Sylvanas are being so effective. Big game hunter as well.
Yeah. Something Tides mentioned to us a while ago, saying how Sylvanas is just so dominant in the meta. This was about a month and a half back when hunters were first starting to come back on the scene. Tides is telling us like, yeah, like Sylvanas is really strong.
Yeah.
Ooh, Neirea
Oh.
picks up a nice important card. Ancient of Lore. It's a big draw.
Yep. Very clutch. He had a lot of late game in his deck that he was looking to see. So finally comes out. So he could. He's gonna
So,
Blood Mage. I
Wrath.
don't understand Blood Mage.
That's a Wrath play.
Yeah,
What do you
but
even Wrath?
well, he's trying to like full damage. Oh, maybe he wants to use it to draw on the cultist. Like the thing about playing Blood Mage is you can just hero power instead. And if you play Blood Mage, you're exposing it to the second Shadow Priest. It is a tough turn though. I don't know. He's got a lot of choices. Like by playing Blood Mage, he's basically saving himself a bit of life by not having to hero power. And it also just puts a Blood Mage into play, which, you know, may or may not be a good thing. Oh, he should trade here. He knows about Holy Nova.
Well, the Holy Nova is another clear here. He's just gonna bank off the fact that his opponent probably doesn't have second Holy Nova drawn.
Does Kolento play 2 Holy Nova or just the 1?
He does.
He does play 2.
I am 99% sure of it. There it is.
Yep. And the
You
Shadow
take-
Priest, like,
Do you want to take the Thanos though? Feels like such good value. There's no other targets in his deck other than the second keeper of the Grove.
you take Thalnos, you heal your dude. Oh no, it doesn't even matter because it's not 6 health, it's silenced. Yeah. Well, I don't know, because then you have to Shadow Word. The thing is, you have to Shadow Word Death if you steal the Thalnos. I think Holy Nova's better because it lets you save a death. You need to use your deaths on Ancient of Wars. If you Cabal Shadow Priest here, there's a chance you'll have to Shadow Word Death the 5/5. I guess the Cabal can deal with it. This is so, like, weird to me. Last game he was so conservative with that card to try to save it for Ancient of War. And then now on the turn after his opponent just played an Ancient of War and drew a bunch of cards, he's not playing around the Ancient of War. I'm not saying it's wrong, it's just inconsistent in terms of how he's played so far.
Alright, well, Neirea's gonna go for the Loatheb plus naturally kill off his opponent's board, giving back over to Kolento. Now, Kolento can't play something like Holy Fire if he draws it, because it costs 5 more mana.
Do you play the 3/2? I guess not.
Well,
Neirea's getting kind of low.
Like, ooh. Spell power swipe would have been pretty clutch, but it's been taken from him. Where do you go if you're Neirea now?
Well, I feel like you have to taunt. And
What to do?
the question is, like, do you play your keeper?
Where shall I strike?
I want to say no.
No, I think because you do know your opponent has another Sylvanas in their deck. But then, it's like we said before, Sylvanas, there's only so much you can do before Sylvanas actually just pops from the hand and affects the state of the board. There we go.
Fantastic,
Finally get
Holy
some
Nova.
Holy Nova value. Wow.
This game's going to be really tough for Kolento to lose now because he just drew his second Shadow Word Death. So now he has the answer to the Ancient of War top deck that would have gotten Neirea back into this game.
It's just gonna Sludge Belcher, pass it back over to Kolento. And all of a sudden, the draws from the Druid player have been pretty weak. And like you said, even if he draws some of his best creatures, they will be taken down pretty easily. Neirea gonna just watch Kolento pump up his minion a little bit more too.
So I don't think that Swipe's going to be able to kill. Yep. Not unless he wants to hero power and lose his Sludge.
Embrace the void.
I'm trying to think of like a way for Neirea to get back into this game, but most of his draws are pretty irrelevant.
Maybe a second Ancient of Lore.
Yeah. You know, on paper, this Druid deck looks so good against Priest, but I don't know, Kolento's managed to pilot Priest in a way that won what looked to be an unwinnable game last time. And in this particular game, it just seemed like his draw matched up better, which made it, I don't know, made it kind of seem one-sided. You know, maybe Priest is heavily favored against his Druid deck, I don't know. Still hasn't seen Mind Control.
Heavily favored.
It might be.
Well.
I mean,
Want to take a Yeti from the Priest player? But then you use your Shadow Word Death. I don't think so. I think you're looking for Thought Steal.
yeah, I think you Thought Steal here, see what you get. It's probably going to be an Ancient of War because there's two of them in there. Oh no.
Well, you have Spell Power Swipe, effectively.
Yep. That would expose you to his Swipe, though.
Yeah, I think this is much stronger. He just uses Swipe, but you know he has another one in his deck waiting to go.
It feels so awkward to swipe the 1/2, but it plays around everything by doing that. So I like that decision. Swipe the Sludge, finish off Yeti, heal yourself. I guess he's considering going face, maybe? He is going to go with this play. You know what he's going to do? He's going to Circle of Healing. Well, no. Man, there's like no way to not get wrecked by Swipe.
Well, do what you gotta do. His
Like, if you
opponent still
circle,
doesn't.
it plays around it, but I don't know if it's worth it.
Well, barely plays around it.
Yeah, it's good enough though. It guarantees another attack. You're basically using Circle of Healing to like deal 4 damage that way.
Oh my, Sylvanas draw. Alright, so Neirea has dipped all of his cards in here, and he's hoping that this can be the impact on the board. Now Kolento, I believe, also runs cards like Silence, and he's pressing for 1 damage. He drew Holy Smite! That was the 1 damage he needed, and he's ended the game.
Dennis is proud. Yep.
There we go. That's how you use Holy Smite, to end the game, not to start the game.
Absolutely.
Up to 3-1, and put himself in pretty much the prime position to end the series. He's gonna stick on his priest, and now
There we go.
it seems like Neirea is the first to blink and use his handlock deck, but he's got a problematic card already. Twilight Drake is what you're looking for immediately to put a lot of problems back on the priest's plate. Like you said, not a lot of interaction that priest can use against this card.
Yeah, well, I do believe Kolento plays 1 Silence, so he has 1 out. If he can draw that. So we'll see if it ends up working out that way. But yeah, in general, Twilight Drake is just your best card as the handlock against Priest. And, you know, having it guaranteed will just make any Giants or other Drakes that he draws just gravy. Even a Faceless Manipulator would be good now, just as a good follow-up to Drake. He's definitely going to want a second threat, though. Even an Earthen Ring Farseer would be okay. Because with Drake on the first attack, a lot of times, you end up killing a creature. So being able to heal it... Oh, there we go. Those were 2 of his best draws in a row.
Wow. Mountain Giant and second Twilight Drake. This is going to be tough for Kolento. Now, if the game scales late game enough, he has potential answers, but how do you respond to double Drake early on? He's even got Faceless Manipulator. This is ridiculous.
Yep, might even be triple Drake.
Oh, baby, a triple.
Yep.
Wow, opting for Mountain Giant first. I think he was playing around the Silence for sure. Silence plus Pyromancer is actually an instant kill. It's like
Yeah,
the
but-
equivalent of Earthshock.
You play around the 1 copy of Silence, but you play into the 2 copies of Shadow Word Death, and you use your Mana Wars, because you can't, like, life tap and play Giant next turn. That was definitely incorrect. But yeah, justice happened. Well, I don't know if Neirea is, like, still... I don't know if he's still ahead. He's going to be taking a lot of damage here. Not that it matters too much. Kolento's likely not going to be attacking him below 15.
Is there a way for Kolento to clear without using...
Death? I suppose that's
Yeah,
what he's
he can.
considering.
Yeah, Thought Steal plus it's hit the 2 minions in.
If he's willing to lose his creatures, yeah.
Oh, man.
He's going to go face. Huh.
This is interesting.
I like it. There you go.
Gets Hellfired. Kolento still has the opportunity to use Circle of Healing plus Alkanite to clear to clear here.
Yeah, that 3 health is just like the perfect number for Neirea. Although Sludge Belcher is definitely gonna put a damper in that plan. Like Neirea needs yeah, there we go, Farseer, or he could just Siphon. This is tough because if you Farseer, you're not doing anything else. I guess you can Farseer Ancient Watcher, potentially draw into like Owls later in the game. Farseer Life Tap seems like a weak turn, but in terms of getting value out of your stuff, it's the best play. I'm not usually a fan of playing Handlock for value, though. I like playing it for tempo. But this is fine. I mean, he doesn't want to play Watcher or Life Tap. That's interesting.
Watcher opens him up to a Circle of Healing play. You tack
Yeah,
the 1/2 token in, and then the clear happens. So Neirea making sure that he's playing around that heads up play because there is a plentiful amount of Akanai Soul Priest in hand. Look at this aggressive move from Kolento again.
Yep.
Now he makes this.
Now, see how he's looking at how many cards Neirea has? He knows that Neirea wouldn't keep Molten Giant in his opening hand against Priest, so it's less likely that he has it. And given how many cards he's drawn, Kolento expects Neirea to have one Molten Giant at most, which is why he's okay at putting Neirea so low, because he has one Shadow or Death to answer the one Molten Giant that he expects. He might... Ugh. This is brutal from Neirea's point of view now. This all could have been avoided if he just played Drake. It was so simple. If you just go Drake, there's like no way to lose. But he played for value instead.
Yeah, he overthought the silence play, and like you said, he played for value. Now, Kolento, can he still deal with this? Does he have the silence in hand? I don't recall at the moment. No. At least he could take something with Cabal Shadow Priest.
That's got to be the play. Although
So
he doesn't really
burn
want to
him
use
for
his
2.
coin. A coin is very important. He doesn't want to use it, but he really wants the 2 damage on face this turn.
Let's see. He's trying to tally how much burn he has. Oh, because does he have the ability to use like Holy Fire and Holy Nova in the same turn as well? If he
Not till
saves a
turn 10.
coin.
Yeah.
Right. So he's trying to calculate as much burn as possible.
Okay, so he's going to use his coin. That's going to make Mind Control not super useful for a few turns here. But Neirea does get a bit of reprieve this turn. Let's see if he has a way to catch back up.
And he does.
Siphon's not bad. You also have the option of copying your Drake.
You'd copy your Drake to get the taunt? And then,
I would Siphon Life Tap probably. Maybe Siphon Watcher. Because you do have 2 Owls you haven't seen yet. But yeah, if he's making the value play, then yeah, he should Life Tap here. He has Draxus in hand anyway. Like, that's definitely the right play.
Yeah, you spend your turns building up your card count. Now you have the flexibility of Watcher and the Iron Beak Owl. But it's a good observation that you've made.
He would have, yeah, see, he would have drawn the Owl. Like, he hadn't seen one yet. The odds of hitting it were very high. So he's just going to keep fighting through Drake. Kolento's just, like, playing for value in every single matchup. It's really interesting. Like, he's always controlling the board, never really desperately going for face. He's playing Priest very well.
And he knows like his opponent can just bounce back up to 15 with Jiraxis, like we've seen a couple times. Just to be mindful of that, just not to rush your opponent too much.
I think Neirea could have played this game a lot better though. Like, I think this was a free win if he just played Drake turn 4 and then copied Drake turn 5 and then played Drake turn 6.
The 1, 2, 3 Drakes.
Yep. Started from the bottom. It's too easy. Like, Priest doesn't really have a... Like, even if he had the silence, he couldn't deal with the second one then. So, I don't know. As it stands, we are where we are. And Neirea has to make some less than optimal plays to kind of catch up here. I would play Drake and play Sludge Belcher, but Siphon Soul has some merit, I guess. If you Siphon Soul, maybe you just play Watcher. Maybe you Life Tap. Okay.
With the Iron Beak Owl in hand, I think Watcher can be put out a little bit more aggressively. Okay, so Kolento finally has opportunity to drop this Mountain Giant after a moment of passivity from his opponent. And the second Siphon Soul has been used, correct? So there's not an easy way to deal with this unless Neirea draws BGH. Or is he playing BGH in his handlock deck, and that was another deck we've been watching? I'm not sure. Of course he's not playing BGH. It's not this deck. Something else.
Well, he has the one Mortal Coil. Opting to Owl this turn. What is this gonna do? Deal with the pyro? Okay, I see. Well, he's not developing a creature this way, but I guess it's the only guaranteed kill for that, so he's got to go for it. I would life tap.
Wow. You can't, though, because your opponent might have Holy Smite and Holy Fire.
He might, but it's not very likely. Like, Kolento hasn't drawn that many cards.
Wow. Well, a moment of passivity from both players. Kolento gives up a lot of mana. And this gives Neirea the board once again, and he has a Twilight Drake. As well as whatever he wants to do. If he wants to copy it, if he wants to Sludge Belcher.
He knows there are no charge creatures. There's no reason to play Belcher over Faceless, but he's going to do it anyway. Yeah, I don't know about that. Not a huge deal either way. I mean, I guess if he's planning on playing Draxus next turn, this guarantees he has a taunt. If you're Kolento, though, the question is, like, do you mind control? If so, what?
Yeah,
mind controlling
better?
Sludge Belcher. It's not bad. I mean, if you mind control the Drake, you're probably not really going to get through the Sludge Belcher, right? So you might as well take the Belcher.
Drake for value, buddy.
Yep.
There it is.
Now I just like playing Jiraxis. Although he hasn't seen a single Molten Giant yet, so it's going to make his draws very weak. If he plays Jiraxis this turn. But I don't think it matters, because you just make a 6/6 every turn. Your hand has Sun Fury and Defender.
You know what's interesting is if Kolento mind controlled the Sludge Belcher, that would have just gotten Black Knighted. And he would have been back at square one, dealing with 2 4-attack creatures. So, in
That's
a way,
true. Maybe
I'm
he
not
was
sure if
playing around
Kolento
Black
kept that in mind, but he's played around Black Knight.
You're right, that might have been better, actually. He's going to use the Sun Fury, even though he has Jiraxis. That's fine.
Man. Taunt
Doesn't want
City.
He doesn't want to taunt his Drake, though. The players playing Jiraxis in this tournament have been very conservative with that card. I'm a fan of just playing it anytime I can, where I'm not going to die in the counter swing. But, yeah, they've been very conservative with it. Jiraxis is one of the best cards in the game against Priest. It's just impossible for him to interact.
So,
Well,
in a weird way, Kolento has the burst. If he had the mana,
yeah,
he has 16 mana.
Do you Holy Fire this turn, just in the face? But I mean, it wouldn't work out because of Jiraxis, but
Right.
I mean, hypothetically, you could.
I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. I hate doing it because it's not even about Jiraxis. It's just there's ways for them to make it so it's impossible for you to deal with. You have to be keeping track of their Farseers, and you did see 2 Siphon Souls being used, but there are ways for them to rebound, and then you just wasted Holy Fire.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it either. It's an option, though. Oh, Lotheb.
Right. Neirea trading in, willing to give away whatever it takes. And it takes the 1/2, which is the best result. And now Kolento will have to go up against Jiraxis.
Yep.
Oh boy. This just leveled up. Like, if there's a difficulty for Hearthstone, Jiraxis is just leveled up. Boss is going to be really hard to clear on this level.
Yeah, Kolento is, like, just Priest in general has such a hard time against that card. I mean, Kolento has Burst, but he... Okay, he gets to clear the board, develop. This Defender of Argus, though, is going to crush his dreams, I think. That's the card that's really a problem at this point.
Yeah, Lotheb, Defender of Art. Ooh. What is
Actually,
this?
He doesn't have the mana, though.
Small little BM.
Did Kolento just win?
Nope, he can't Holy Fire.
That's game.
Right,
Oh, no, yeah, he can't. You're right, you're
He
right.
can't Holy Fire because the 11 cost. But hey, you know, if he attacks face and then just waits for his opponent, unless Neirea has heal, then he did win. So he's on a 2-turn win now.
You have to
Assuming
attack
he's...
face.
Does he die, though, if he doesn't? Like, let's see. If he just attacks face and say he heals up, does he die?
Well, you can't
Oh.
risk discarding your defender.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, yeah.
Couldn't risk discarding your defender. Risk discarding defender. Oh man. That series of
11 potions. He would have been one short of lethal if he just went face.
Wow. And now Neirea needs to draw because Holy Fire is lethal.
Yep, he needs Siphon or Farseer, or that's game.
No, that's not it. And Neirea knows what time it is because he shook his head. He realizes his opponent probably has the Holy Fire.
Kolento really deserved this game. Like, I don't think Neirea misplayed a lot, I think, honestly, when it came down to, well, not a lot, but he made a couple of small, like, judgment calls that ended up causing this to happen. If he developed Drakes earlier, it would have been nearly impossible for Kolento to interact with the early game, and then he could have snowballed from there. But once you let the priest get ahead on board, like, Kolento, honestly, I was getting ahead of myself, though. Right now, let's just see who makes it in finals. But yeah.
That's right. Silent Storm did defeat Kolento and sent him to the other side of the bracket to where he is at the moment.
He was the
And
best
now
Warlock
he's
player.
turning to Handlock. And Handlock versus Priest. The roles have reversed.
Yep. Soundstorm has been my favorite Warlock player so far too. So I guess I'm a little biased, but yeah, I like his odds. This matchup gonna heavily favor Kolento. So we'll see if we'll see how he ends up mauling here. Keeping the giant, putting the other two back is correct. He's considering keeping Belcher so he has a follow-up to giant, but you shouldn't keep it because you could draw a faceless, you could draw another giant, another Drake. You'd rather have the extra draw to get another threat. There you go.
Ooh.
So yeah, turn 4 giant, turn 5 life tap giant. And I don't see a single shadow or death from Neirea yet, so this could go very
It's looking
poorly.
pretty brutal for Neirea. He only has a couple of things to do before that very fateful turn 4. And he is going first, so it's not like Neirea has a lot of opportunities to build something.
Yeah, this is like everything you want as the handlock player. You're going first, you have the double giant draw, you're against Priest. It doesn't get much better than this.
You know, even a Farseer, like you said, is important, so that way you can immediately pick up a nice heal and regain what you're doing on board with the giant. One Shadow Word Death, though, for Neirea.
Yeah, this hand only has giant. It doesn't have giant and Drake, so it's like, this hand's impossible to mess up. You play your big guy, next turn you play your other big guy. Oh, okay, this is correct. You played the giant. This time it's right to play giant, because it deals with the Blade Master on board. Whereas last game for Neirea, all of Kolento's creatures died to Twilight Drake, so it was better to play Twilight Drake. So yep, dies to death, not a huge deal. You just life tap, play the other giant. Perfect. See, I'm glad he's being aggressive with it. Some players here would just like drop giant without life tapping. But it's definitely correct to just tap.
Alright, well, Neirea doesn't have second Shadow Word Death. He's trying to play defensive. And now it becomes a question, does Neirea attack in and enable Molten Giants for 2 mana?
It's correct to attack because Kolento's most likely play this turn is Siphon Soul. I guess against against Shadow Flame, maybe. It's better to not attack, but even then, Shadow Flame still kind of wrecks you. He's going to copy instead of Siphon. That's correct, yeah. Because he didn't, yeah.
He's looking at 7 damage. The most his opponent can do is 12 with Holy Fire, so still within comfortable range.
You could also Owl and, Drake and then Owl. Kill the 4/7. I don't know if that's better necessarily. Playing it this way gives you more big guys, which I think is generally better. You see how it just snowballs here?
Mm-hmm.
If you just,
This is what could have happened last game.
Exactly, yeah. You just needed to play threats in the right order. But we can... Oh man, I'm trying to think of like what he can Thought Steal. He could Thought Steal Soulfire. Maybe that would get him in it.
Is someone injured?
Okay.
So there's
Can't
nothing
even
that
play
can
Shadow
draw.
Word Death even if he draws. 411. All right, back over to Kolento land.
Yeah, Neirea is not happy. He knows he's not in a great spot. It's because Kolento made the aggressive play of facelessing this turn. So yeah, now he just goes Drake into Watcher. And then I think you
far?
attack face.
I wonder.
Yeah. You don't, because one, you don't want to give a card to your opponent, and the fact that the deal with this Drake is still hard. Because if you attack into the injured Blade Master and heal it with Farseer, it actually draws a card for the Priest. And I don't think you want to give any draw whatsoever because you saw that your opponent was already hurting for draws. Like he wanted to draw something really badly and you couldn't do anything with 2 remaining mana. So strong signs that your opponent's on a turn of weakness.
I mean, I guess since these handlock decks don't have Leroy, like the damage to face matters a lot less than it used to. I mean, it used to be that if you're at like 15, handlock is just threatening lethal with an empty board. But yeah, because of the Leroy ban for this tournament, I guess it makes sense to go for board control a little bit more, but I don't know. Like, I just like Drake. Drake, Watcher, go face. Yeah, he can draw a card, but that would make him spend some mana in doing so. Ugh, like, see,
Wow.
like you're letting Northshire gain 8 life, but I don't like that. It probably won't matter much, though, honestly. Kolento's just so far ahead. It's going to be a very tough game to lose. I think Neirea needs to, like, Thoughtsteal Soulfire at this point.
Maybe Iron Beak Owl while you're at it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, he gets the exact cards that are on board. And they help just... Oh, gosh.
He's
You're
already
playing very
committed.
reactive. And your opponent already has the Iron Beak Owl.
Neirea's already committed to playing around Molten Giant, so if he's going to stay consistent, he's not attacking face. He's convinced that, well, not convinced that Kolento has Molten Giant, but he's opted to play around it. I mean, at this
Kolento
point,
has the dream of using the silence on the Drake and Mortal Coiling.
he plays Lothab on top of that, and I think that's lethal because that's 29 plus Defender. So that should be
Yeah,
game.
excellent point. The 12, and then shut down possibilities.
No! Play the Lothab! Oh, he couldn't be any further ahead on board. It doesn't even matter, though. The game is beyond over.
Yeah, only out here seems to be double circle plays, which is still highly unlikely. And Neirea's Priest doesn't look like he has any answer to this threat. No more Shadow or Deaths. Can't deal with the 410.
Yep. I mean, Kolento picked into the right matchup in this blind pick format. He got handlock into Priest. That's exactly what he wanted. Neirea had that the game before, and Kolento managed to pull it out. Did not exactly work out the same way this time. Kolento's draw is really good, though. I mean, going first, just like 3 big guys and a faceless. But I think both players played it as well as they could have.
I must consider.
A couple of small things could have been done differently, but I don't think the outcome would have been very different here at all. I don't think there's anything he can thought steal. I mean,
He needs... No, he's not even low enough to like Thought Steal, Molten Giant, and Shadow Flame. I don't really think of anything in a 2-card combination, but sometimes it wouldn't hurt to try.
Of course.
Wow. Well,
yep.
Well
He's
played.
he
trying
can't
to
do much.
minimize damage this turn, and then he's planning on thought stealing Owl Shadow Flame. That's his play. But yeah, if Kolento draws a Soulfire, he has lethal. Any other card, he doesn't have lethal.
So yeah, 14 damage right now.
So many
Missing just the Leroy.
possibilities.
Yeah, well, he has the Defender in hand, so it's 16, but yeah, he needs the Soulfire.
Oh, you're right.
I
Lotheb.
Oh no,
seal it.
he's
He had
he's
Hellfire.
he's missing lethal right now.
Oh
Why is he missing
no.
lethal?
Yeah, he missed lethal. He had the ability to silence his own Watcher, attack, and use Hellfire or Defender of Argus.
Yeah, he just noticed.
It's okay.
No.
Kolento is going for optimal BM. The Europeans are finally learning, Ray.
Yep.
Here we go.
I'm just glad I'm not seeing Leperno, man. That card.
That meta is over, huh? Well, at least
That
for
meta's
now.
never over. That meta is on ladder. That's where it
That's
stays,
true.
and I'm glad.
Well, turn 1 Leopard Gnome Greetings was amplified by Next Ramus. Oh, look at that tandem. Soulfire and Shadow Flame, unable to use it. But it was amplified by Undertaker Coin Leopard Gnome Greetings. That's the worst starting possible hand ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that?
Well,
I
well
didn't
played
mean
by
to ruin your night,
Kolento.
man.
Congratulations to him. He's going to make finals this tournament. Exceptionally well played, especially that first game with Priest against Druid.